everybody, my name is Sandra Yap from FOMO Media and I am here with the founder and CEO of Finnovation Labs, Malik KOTADIA. And also, he is a polymath. A lot of people think that Polymath is a project, which I think that too. However, please do enlighten us with what the definition of Polymath is.
So, I come from 20 years of digital banking and e-payments background. I have been a fintech mentor for the last 3 years. I have been active in community building and ecosystem development globally for blockchain and fintech, and I'm also an author. So I found a nice, neat word which summarizes all of these, which is polymath, which basically means somebody who's multidisciplinary in terms of domains or expertise. So that's.
But what does the math mean? Like, is it just like specifically?
No, it's got nothing to do with math. The polymath, the simplest comparison for a polymath or an example would be somebody like Leonardo da Vinci, who was an artist and an inventor and a scientist at the same time. So when you have somebody who brings in multiple disciplines together, they use the term polymath. It's got nothing to do with math.
I think my next goal in life is to be a polymath.
It will happen automatically.
Happen?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah. If you have many areas of passion and you wonder how to bring them together, in your eureka moment, you'll become a polymath.
Wow. Well, thank you for being here with us.
My pleasure.
Well, first of all, I wanted to ask, so Southeast Asia is often spoken of as like the blockchain hub of, this region. And in your opinion, what is the reason for that?
So a couple of reasons. The first is obviously Southeast Asia from a demographic and from a user behavior standpoint is one of the most promising markets, not just in Asia, but all over the world. 650 million people, a very large young population, high mobile usage. So these are the advantages. On the other hand, you have an ecosystem in which financial and digital inclusion or social inclusion is low. So if you see a combination of these two factors where you have demographics which are enablers and you have the infrastructure which is not in place, as it happened with China and then subsequently with India, when these two factors come together, that market suddenly leapfrogs. It doesn't go through sequential steps. It just leapfrogs from a non-existing infrastructure to being able to get cutting edge infrastructure in place or a cutting edge platform, and that's what I foresee as the enabling factors for ASEAN when it comes to adoption of blockchain.
Wow, very good insight. What do you think the low-hanging fruit is in terms of the infrastructure that you were speaking about, in terms of leapfrogging this?
So I think there are three factors to my mind which I would classify as enablers, not just low-hanging fruits. Mm-hmm. One is, in all my travels and interaction with policymakers in different parts of the world, I have found ASEAN policymakers to be very, very open-minded. So I certainly think that's going to be the first key enabler. The second key enabler is in terms of the technology pool and talent and the low cost base which is available in this part of the world, whether you see Philippines, whether you see Indonesia, Vietnam, great technology talent and of course a low cost base. So that's going to be another big enabler. In fact, most parts of the world outsource their technology development to the ASEAN markets.
So do you think that blockchain technology will be able to kind of facilitate that in terms of talent pools from developing countries?
I would say the reason why blockchain is being enabled in this part of the world is because there's so much of a tech pool, talent pool available already. That combined with the right kind of regulatory support, and the third pillar would be openness of enterprises to adopting it, which also I see more and more of.
And what is the most exciting opportunity do you foresee for blockchain?
So there are many, many interesting use cases happening here, but from my personal experience and philosophy perspective, I think digital identity is probably the most exciting and promising area when it comes to ASEAN. So digital identity on blockchain is going to be, to my mind, the killer app of this part of the world.
Okay, why do you think that?
Again, two factors. Most of the countries here don't have a national digital ID like a Singapore or a US has. So the need in the market is there. And if you would have read, the Philippines Parliament just passed their national ID law 2 weeks back. So more and more governments want to create a national ID framework, and they see blockchain as a great enabler.
Awesome. And what are the challenges that blockchain adoption faces in this part of the world, and what do you think are the next steps?
So the biggest challenge is the infrastructure. The internet and the telco infrastructure in this part of the world is still a long way away from being ideal to allow seamless development. The other challenge comes in terms of openness of enterprises to go beyond pilots. So a lot of them are doing pilot projects, but how to kind of adopt it at scale is another challenge. But I foresee that changing in the next 3 to 5 years.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your insight, and thank you so much for being with us. If there's anything that we want to find out more about what you do, where can we find you?
You can add me up on LinkedIn and otherwise WhatsApp or WeChat.
Awesome.
I'm mostly traveling, so the best way to get in touch with me is through any of the messengers.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for being with us. And if you like watching this, please subscribe to FOMO Media. Thank you so much.
The pleasure was mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.